Hey guys, it's Llynks. I thought I'd do something a bit different today. I'm gonna document my songwriting because one, it's gonna make me write a song, and two, I've been wanting to experiment with different types of videos. Let me know if you guys are into this one. I'm excited to try it out. So I just got back from teaching in Boston. I do early childhood music development classes there. It's actually my last Monday class teaching up there, and now I'm gonna be transitioning over to teaching at a daycare much closer. It's a similar curriculum, but it's just at a location that's much closer to me. So first things first, I'm definitely in need of some afternoon coffee before I settle into actually writing. Oh, I still have some left over from this morning. I know a lot of people don't like old coffee, but it weirdly doesn't bother me. I apologize if this is horrible for you. We definitely need this to be bold. Okay, and while that's brewing, I'm gonna get myself set up. Right. Our laptop here, water. We're gonna make some old coffee with the new coffee. We're gonna add some oat milk in there. Brew over here. Yes. Okay, so we're gonna try our best. I'm really hoping that I actually end up writing something semi-okay. I really needed that. I used to write all my songs physically down on a piece of paper, but at this point I almost always use my notes app on my computer, which is far less romantic, but just the state of things at the moment. So we're gonna start fresh here, and I have no idea what I'm gonna write about today, but I really have just been hankering to write. I just haven't been writing for myself. I've been really focused on writing for other people and for commissions. It's been really quite hard for me lately to just sit down and write a song myself and acknowledge that things are going on in my life too that I could write about, but I just haven't been. So you guys are gonna witness the first return back in a while. It's a very unglamorous process. It usually looks like this or at my piano, and I'm usually very emotional, but here we are. We're just gonna go for it now. The first thing I usually do is pick a very broad song seed. I learned the term song seed in college, and that's basically just one word or phrase that your whole song is gonna be based upon. A really good exercise for that, if you're writing just point blank from nowhere, is to look around the room that you're physically in and just pick an item or something that you see and start from there. So I'm here and I'm gonna choose, you know what? You can't see it right now, but I'm gonna choose this lamp that's next to me. This is a lamp, beautiful stained glass. We're replacing this wicker table, so please don't judge me. It's a beautiful Art Nouveau lamp that my mom gave me, and it was actually my Nana's before hers, and I feel like I could do something about that. I'm sure this lamp has seen some things. It's really old, and it was around when my Nana was alive, and my mom inherited it, and now it's mine. So I could do something that has to do with that. Kind of like where that's going. I've also always been drawn to Art Deco, Art Nouveau type style, or architecture and interior design. So I think this could be good. Why not? Let's just see what happens. All right, so I'm gonna start brainstorming ideas. Okay, so first of all, I'm so incredibly sorry for the state of my screen. I need to wipe it down clearly, but here are some brainstorming notes that I have so far about what I'm gonna write about. So I have the Art Nouveau lamp. It made me start thinking about the passing down of an item. It was my Nana's. She gave it to my mom, who was her daughter, and my mom gave it to me. Mother's-daughter relationships. Okay, then we get kind of real here, right? So I don't want kids. That is where I'm at, and I think where I will stay. I won't have a child to pass this off to. Oh, and then I start thinking about, okay, if I don't have kids, what is going to be my legacy? So we're obviously going in all sorts of directions, which is good because then you can stem off different songs. Okay, so then I physically started describing it. Stained glass, you can read these things, you can screenshot it. I talk about my backyard as a kid. I think about splintering my feet on the deck, the smell. The tip that I use to get my brain going is using 5 senses to describe the item, and then usually that brings up memories. You can just go off on a bunch of different stuff, and then I start getting kind of dark there, and it's okay, it's all right, But there we are. Just got some more coffee. I think I could start writing a verse. I don't know how much I'm going to get done today because I also have to start teaching private lessons at 4 and it is 2:08, so I've got about an hour and a half. I guess we'll just see. I can't leave without writing at least a verse. Who thinks I can do it? I think Marius does. Okay, well, let's see how this goes. I have this line about splintering my feet. I like this juxtaposition. If you read my bottom half of the notes, I have this line about like smelling flowers in the backyard as a child while simultaneously like getting splintered from the deck, like the wood on the deck. And I'm kind of liking that juxtaposition right now of just like, oh, well, something nice is happening here. But at the same time, you're like, ow, my foot. So poetic. But I can make it poetic. I can make it better. Make it hit hard. But I just have to find out how to make that happen. I'm gonna start there because I really like that image in my mind. Sometimes I write things that are so awful and then I just need to delete them right away. Okay, it's been about 30 minutes and I have a few things. I will show you my page. It looks like a mess, but I have written some things down. None of it goes together, but I think with some reorganizing and repainting, it will end up making sense. I'll read off different segments, clumps of ideas that I have put together here. Where this went. So I started with this lamp, right? I guess it sort of has to do with like the mother-daughter thing, but I found myself writing about like the fleetingness of youth and naivety and tragedy. It's just where my brain goes. Like, I think I just subconsciously really like that, again, like the mixing, the juxtaposition of like lightness and then just like tragedy. That just tends to be how I write, and if you listen to my music, then you might pick up on that. I'll just read this out to you now. Okay, so the first idea is blush of lavender, a sea of green, the thudding of wood by eager feet, porch swing humming sweet melodies, ringing true my naivety. Okay, there's that. Then things take a turn for the worse, and we've got ignoring the splinters breaching the barrier of my skin, embedding themselves deep within, my own body upholding fragments of my youth, burrowing them deep inside me, as if it was just enough to be felt, but not enough to be realized. I think I need to unpack that one. And all this time I thought I was unbreakable, but there I was, tracking blood. Okay, just hear me out. I'm thinking about like the splinters. What I'm seeing is like this child, so young me, being excited, running around my parents' deck at our old house when we were really young. We had a beautiful backyard, a garden, a bunch of flowers, and then we had this wooden deck that I would always get splintered. My feet would just be covered in splinters, whatever. And just being a kid and like just being so visually fascinated by what you see around you that you're not even noticing the splinters. You're like getting splintered and you're like tracking blood and you're like making this beautiful scene imperfect. I think that's where I'm going with this. And I want to connect that with foreshadowing the tragedy that was gonna happen or something. And I won't go into that, but, or like foreshadowing that something bad was coming and like you're not noticing it, but you're like, you know, it's like this beautiful scene, but there's like blood on the deck. I don't know. Okay, then I have wishing only to be one with this garden, but instead painting the reality that would happen right before my eyes and to warn me that this was only to be fleeting. That doesn't rhyme. Okay, there's a lot of things that are unfinished here, but that's what I got done. But this is exciting because now I can like really try and realize and piece together my vision that I just told you in so many words. And maybe if this song comes out one day, it was birthed right here and you watched it. I really like the concept of the splinters from the deck are like pieces of your youth. You end up burrowing deep and like kind of blacking out and you're carrying them with you and they're like in your skin, but you don't see them. And it's like this creepy thing that I'm seeing, and hopefully I will realize this and make it a song actually and make it work. But that's what I've gotten done today. I think I need to stop, but let me show you the mess of my notes and like how all of those things came to be. This is where everything started. And then I kind of went on and started kind of going off of that. And I started with, I smell lavender and sea green. While the deck splinters my feet, if only I knew how fleeting it would be, but I'm tracking blood behind me and I don't know it yet, but I make it perfect scene imperfect. Okay, so that was like the idea. And I was like, okay, I want to say this, but like much more poetically. Instead of just saying like, I smell lavender, what can I say instead of smell? Things like that. Like, I don't want to just say I'm seeing green. There was just a few songwriting techniques that I put in there to make things a little bit more interesting. But then again, it's not done and I probably will change all of this. That's how it goes usually. But here we are. This is what my songwriting notes usually look like. All right, so that was my songwriting session. If you are into this sort of thing and would want to see this more often, please let me know. Again, it's something I'm trying out. This was fun to make, and I actually wrote something that I'm excited about finalizing and reworking. So I think this could be good for me. But was it good for you guys? Let me know if you're into it, and I'll do more things like this. And I could also, you know, do stuff with production and other things. Like and subscribe if you want to stay updated on my videos. If you have any questions or comments, please leave one below. If you want to support me, you can support me at my Patreon, which I'll include the link here. And there you can get a lot more of like the behind the scenes access to things, and it really just helps me keep doing what I do. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.